guys, how's it going? Today we're going to start off with a Forsythia transplanting project. I'm not sure what we're going to get to after that, but I know we need to get this done so that we can get these pots planted up for summer. So you might remember we planted 10 show-off Forsythias in these containers for spring. They were underplanted with pansies. The pansies have already been cleaned out. In fact, Bethany came through with a bunch of used containers that we had stacked in the barn, and she took all of those pansies home and planted them in her orchard, underneath her orchard trees, because sometimes pansies come back or they reseed themselves, and she thought, I'm gonna give it a try. So she sent me a picture and it looks really pretty. But you guys, I can't even begin to express how amazing these plants did. And while they look kind of a little ho-hum at the moment, I mean, as far as a container plant goes, if you're wanting it to be big impact, they were such big impact when they were in bloom for weeks and weeks and weeks. When I initially put them in, it was because I knew I wanted some yellow spring color out in the dirt lands in the border that we're starting to cultivate. And I thought, well, if we could get 2 uses out of it, that'd be awesome. If we could use them in containers this spring and then plant them out when we're done, which is what we're doing. And when I did that, I thought, well, we might get like a couple weeks of color out of them. I just wasn't sure. And I was stunned, really, by how long they bloomed in these containers and how much gorgeous interest they brought to this area, and it's something that I would definitely repeat. So we're gonna get in here. They're not gonna be super rooted in because they've only been in here for just a matter of months, and you know, it's been cold for a lot of those months. So I'm expecting them to be fairly easy to pop out of these containers and put in the ground. Now this variety grows 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. I think they're a zone 5 through 8. And they're a type that you do, well, all Forsythias and lilacs, those type of plants that bloom in the spring, are usually types you do not want to prune really at all if you can help it. If you need to prune them, you do it immediately after bloom time. So right now, if I needed to prune some of these, oh, the sun's coming back out. We've had a weird weather day. I woke up to pouring rain, and then it's been kind of on and off, really dark overcast and really bright sunny. Anyway, right now would be the time if I wanted to prune any of these to do it, because they will set their blooms for next year on this year's wood, which means they bloom on old wood. But I don't really think I'm going to need to do any pruning at all. In fact, where these are going, I kind of just want them to go for it and do their natural thing. And this variety blooms from the tip all the way down to the base. They were just beacons, yellow beacons out here. So I expect this process to be pretty easy. We're just going to dig them out of the pots and plant them out in the dirt lands. Aaron said he's going to come out here and use the auger to dig all the holes. So anyway, we're going to get after this, get it done, and then we will see what other projects we move on to today. Hey.
Want some help?
Yeah, I got you the auger. They were
nice.
Way easier to pop out
Really?
than I thought they were going to be, yes. So that was nice.
They don't look super like
no,
rooted out or anything.
There's healthy white roots on all of them, and they were just starting to reach out from their original spot,
Nice.
which is the perfect time. So anyway, I don't know exactly where these are gonna go.
Is this,
There's a couple of wild arms we can trim off, but
broke one.
I did. I only broke one though, and it's because I was grabbing them all, snatching them right at the bottom. Anyway, yeah, let's roll.
Okay.
Do we want them kind of together, or should we separate them all out?
I think having at least a lot of them together would make for a really nice impact.
So maybe like 4-3-3,
Yeah, maybe.
or this is where we know
It's gonna neck down pretty tight.
so
right
we
here.
can't have huge shrubs, and these will get 5 to 6, which might be perfect
Yeah.
for kind of in this area. Well, I don't know. Let's start here, I guess. All right, so I think we're gonna put most of them right in this area here because they're a 5 to 6 foot tall and wide shrub. We don't want to tuck them too far back because they'll likely get swallowed up by all the stuff that gets bigger. So that means this is about where the lane's gonna be, isn't it? Like where we're driving now?
Yeah, pretty close. Where's the marker?
Well, I see a marker there, and then it's gonna go diagonal, right? So it might be over just a little bit, don't you think? Possibly?
Yeah, it might be pushed just a hair this way.
Oh, more this way.
Well, no, it'll be diagonal
Right.
here. Yeah, so we have room here.
Okay, perfect.
The road might be a little bit more right here.
Okay. But I think it will be good if we do it right in here. So Aaron's gonna go grab the tractor, with the brush hog, and he's gonna whip down all these weeds instead of planting them right in the tall weeds. So anyway, let's go grab that. One project leads to another. So in case you haven't seen underneath a brush hog, this is what it looks like. So it's this huge, what do they call this? Like the shroud, the deck, what do they call that?
Yeah, the deck.
The deck. And then there are two rotating blades underneath. In front, there's these chains which help, if you happen to go over really rough terrain that has like rocks and things like that, that keeps rocks from shooting out and hitting people or things or whatever. And then what's the roller do in the back? Just kind of packs it down? What does that do?
Oh, I don't know, but the roller has to be touching the ground in order for it to turn on.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't work unless it's all the way down.
When the roller goes down, this little thing also goes down.
Okay.
So if this is up, it will not.
So you don't use
it won't
that.
turn on.
It's just the mower part.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't usually lift it up like this. I just asked him to, so we could take a look underneath. You line that up really easy. Can you see that from inside the cab?
Kinda.
Really? Kinda?
Yeah.
While it's overcast.
Yeah, right.
Everything looks pretty lush when it's overcast. So this whole area was just weeds. It's looking a lot better, and it'll be a lot easier to plant in, I think.
I think after we get done here, I'm gonna knock down these weeds by the fence.
Oh, okay. Like where we put the pumpkin vines last year.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, while he was doing that, you guys, I did place the Forsythias. What do you think, Aaron?
That looks good.
All right. I figured we'd have some kind of a pathway or something through this area because it is so deep to get from the lane all the way over here to the fence. So at least for now, I mean, we're not going to have this spot planted up because we're just working on basically fence lines at the moment. So I put 5 of the Forsythia right in here, and I think they're going to look gorgeous. And the other 5 are down the way, right down there. I don't know if you can see them in the sea of green. The Aaron's just going to use the auger. I've got some biotone. We're going to get them planted, and then we'll probably go grab the water truck, or the water tank rather, to, we should get a water truck. The water tank. We'll grab that, and we'll get them all watered in. Okay, got the water tank all hooked up. This is how the first group of Forsythia look. I think they're beautiful right here. So 5 of them, we're gonna get them all watered in, and then we'll attach them to the drip system later on. We're gonna work on that while Aaron is cutting down all the weeds over there. And there's the second group of them. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come in with some cardboard and put that between all of these and then mulch out further because we've only mulched, the back section where we've already planted. But here's a little positive progress report on our hibiscus that we transplanted. Oh, look at that. It is just full of new growth. This is, I think, the evening rose variety. We transplanted it, seems like a couple of months ago now, from the south garden out to this area because I wanted to finish a hydrangea hedge and this was kind of in the way. But it was a beautiful plant. So I tried to get as big of a root ball as I could, but it was an established plant. So I was a little bit worried for it, but it doesn't even look like it minds at all that we moved it out here. It's gonna be perfect for some summer color. Okay, we'll go check on Aaron. I need to drop off the water tank now, and then we're gonna move on to something different. I might plant up the Urns on the west side today. I love this right here. This is some kind of dryland grass, like a crested wheat of some kind, and it's just beautiful. There aren't any weeds out here in this part, so we leave this part alone. It turns a nice golden wheat color when it gets real hot in the summer, but it's not irrigated at all. We really only have to deal with weeds on the perimeter. Oh, wow. He's almost done. That looks so much better. Here we are on the west side. Those are the 4 urns we're going to plant up, and I'll take a quick walk through here and show you some of the beautiful things going on in just a second. But these are the plants that we're going to put in the urns, and I'm so excited about it. I think this is such a fresh, gorgeous, peaceful blend of plants. We've got the lime thyme coleus right here. The fun part about this type of coleus and anything in the Color Blaze series is that they can go in full sun to full shade. We have noticed if you do put them in more sun, they do need a little bit more water, but in this case, they're getting water every day because they're in containers, so we should be good. Also, keep in mind, it says they get 24 to 40 inches tall. The more sun they get, the bigger they get. That's my experience anyway. I'm going to keep these pinched to stay a little bit smaller so that the scale stays appropriate. And usually I don't put things in containers that need a ton of maintenance, but since there's only 4, I think we'll be okay. I usually make exceptions for things like that or things like geraniums. They bring so much color, I don't mind deadheading them. They're easy to deadhead. And then we've got the Priscilla Supertunia. And not only does it have that Supertunia Bordeaux look, same color, the lavender flower with the dark purple veining, but it's a double and it's so fluffy. And these are not as aggressive of a grower, which is perfect. I love the look of these urns, and I hate to plant things in them that drape too much because then you don't get to see the urns anymore. That's kind of the whole point of having them out here, is because of how beautiful they are. So I think this is perfect. I like a little drape, but nothing like a sweet potato vine, or something like a Supertunia Vista bubblegum, which are amazing plants, and sometimes you want that huge drape effect, but in this case, I still want to see the pot. And then we've got Diamond Frost Euphorbia, which is actually a fairly adaptable plant for different light situations. It does prefer a sunnier location, but it can take part shade and still perform really well. And this one is going to be kind of our middle plant. We do have sort of a thriller, filler, spiller situation going on. This being our thriller plant, this will be our filler plant, so the step down from this one, and then this will be our spiller. I've got some of the slow release plant food I'll be adding into the soil, and I'm going to be topping up the pots as well. But first off, let's just take a little stroll here because there are some beautiful plants right now. Oh my goodness. First of all, the cat's pajamas nepeta. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got some iris in bloom as well. I thought this iris was champagne colored, and maybe some of them are, like down the way, but they're purple and I'm loving it. And they're so beautiful. We've got some Royal Jubilee. These are David Austin's right here, roses that'll be pink, and they're all budded up. We've got a Coral Charm peony about ready to burst into bloom. We've got Lady's Mantle here. There's the pink Profusion Salvia, one of my favorite salvias. And that one's all loaded up with buds as well. This one just keeps a tighter, more compact growth habit. They don't tend to flop, and they're just kind of a tidier and long-lasting salvia. They last forever. We've got a Juga still in bloom. We've got some spaces to sort of work on and fill in. We need to deadhead some tulips. Veronica. It's either purple or white, I can't remember. We've also got Caryopteris that will come in bloom blue. Later on in the season. These are the Lichfield Angel roses. Lichfield, they're pink. And I've worked in some Nigella. We planted that together not long ago. We've got some nutmeg thyme. And then we've got a lot of repeats because I wanted there to be some cohesion. So more Lady's Mantle, more Cat's Pajamas nepeta. And you can see the honeybees. Oh, and a bumble. Oh, look. These plants are just loaded. Nothing delights me more than seeing this. And look, oh, I don't really love seeing those cabbage moths, but they are so pretty, just fluttering around, kind of dancing. My goodness. Okay, moving on, we've got a Glow Girl Spirea just starting to bloom. I like the chartreuse color there. And then we've got some hardy geraniums in here, more iris. There are some purple delphiniums coming up, pink profusion. We've got more ajuga. This is a mellitus, or it's called bastard balm. It's the common name. It looks like a snapdragon, sort of, or not a snapdragon, orchid. Almost like a streptocarpus too. I don't know. This one looks like it's wilting. Needs some water. Anyway, I planted this last year and it came back beautifully. I'd love to have more in here. More roses. There's a variety called Mary Rose, which are a very sweet, delicate pink, all of which have been transplanted from behind our gazebo when we had it. More delphinium, Lady's Mantle, Midnight Masquerade, penstemon. There's a Brandywine viburnum. Ornamental oregano, Stand By Me clematis will bloom blue. We've got some thrift right here, glowing it up on this end of the walkway. We have a Sugar Shack button bush. It's looking weird this year. I don't like it. It's been so dense and beautiful up to this point, and this year it came back all scraggly, and like last year it was complete leaves, like you couldn't even see the center of the shrub. Look at it now. I don't know, I'm gonna give it some time. We did have a weird cold snap, and I might rejuvenate, prune it, and just take it all the way back and see what happens. We'll see. And down on this end, I need to come in and do some maintenance here soon. I need to trim out this elderberry. This is the Instant Karma. We trained this into a tree form, and they do really well for us here. And they just go for it, which means it's kind of a pruning chore. So I need to go in and thin that out. More pink Profusion Salvia, Limelight Hydrangea. There's some Verbascum, started that from seed last winter. It's doing beautifully, came back great. Royal Frost Birch. There's a Blue Kazoo Spirea. There's some daisies in here. More Veronica, that's the white wands. That was the quick tour through the area, but there's just a lot of beautiful things, and I've just loved and have enjoyed watching this space fill in like it has. Still some areas to work on in here, some areas to plant up, but it's coming right along. And now I'm excited to get these plants in here. I've focused a lot on purples, pinks, and whites, and some chartreuse in this area. So I think this blend of plants is going to be perfect. So let's get them done. these are going to be gorgeous. I think this Limetime Coleus is going to be such a beautiful bright spot over here, because I think it's going to contrast the wall of North Pole arborvitae that are right behind all of the urns. We've got the deep green and then the bright green right here. Then of course the big beautiful purple flowers, which I think we'll see what they do, but I'm only expecting them to drape just a little bit here. These are the Esplanade urns from Unique Stone, and then a base. These pieces come separately, but they really turned out perfect. I can't even remember what year we put these in. It's been a while, but I love them every bit as much as I did in the beginning. Maybe even more now that this area has sort of filled in and they're doing exactly what I want them to do. And there's still space, especially around this one, to plant some things, but I don't want to plant any of them too heavily to where you can't see them. The one on the very end is getting a little bit more shrouded than I'd like, but these three are really doing well. I might have to move some of the things that are by the last one. And then the Diamond Frost Euphorbia, which is also a beautiful contrast to the deep green. I mean, you can see right there, it just shows up and glows with that backdrop. And it's just bringing kind of that sparkly look, especially once this bulks up and gives you that weight. I just think it's a pretty blend. Take a walk down this way. I mean, they all look the same, but the plants around them vary slightly. Oh, so pretty. Yeah, I might need to be moving a few of these iris. It's not too bad, especially once they're done blooming. You really don't have all of this stuff right in front because we deadhead those, and it's just the foliage. This is the color I thought they all were right here. Isn't that funny? And I'm sure I have a picture of the first clump that I planted down toward the vegetable garden that were champagne. Is it possible they can revert? Or they could have reverted, I don't know. Okay, there's one last thing I want to get done today, or get planted rather, and that is a currant start that Deb brought down to the garden center. She watched our tour of the garden center when my mom and I were down there the other night shopping. I had asked my mom if she had any currants, and they were out. So Deb went out and dug up a start from her plant, which she's had for over 20 years. And I think that's really, really sweet of her, and I'd love to get it planted. I miss having a currant. I had a beautiful one in our townhouse garden, and I harvested loads of currants off of it. These typically get around 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. The only information I have about this one is that it is a red currant, so I'm guessing that's about the size it will get. I'm kind of thinking over toward the berry area, since that's kind of berry central, but we'll see. Somewhere out there where I can get lots of sun. So there are the raspberry beds. The grapes, I've got a couple of honeyberries over here. I think I want to plant it right in this space right here. It'll get full sun and it's right by our other edibles. I think that's kind of perfect. I had my other camera set up and I forgot to turn it on during the planting process. Pretty straightforward. Dug a hole, put some biotone starter fertilizer in, planted, then watered it in. I even moved the camera like 3 times for different angles. God, I just love it here. It's got plenty of room to grow and fill in. I mean, we will probably still be able to come in with something small along the stones there, but I will probably want to keep some distance around it open so that we can access the shrub to pick the fruit, which there are already a few on this one. So exciting. I didn't get to experience mine long enough really to do too many things. I had it fruiting probably for 2 seasons before we moved to this house, and I did a lot of scones and muffins and breads with the currants, but there were still so many other things that I wanted to do, and I wanted to try dehydrating them to use them during the winter time. So now that's something we get to do. I'm so excited. And you guys, that is going to be it for today's projects. My goodness, it's warmed up quite a lot more than when we started out this morning. It feels really good out here, but I think the Forsythias are going to do great out there. They should. Healthy looking root systems. They're all tucked in, watered in. Paul is actually out there. I can see him right now. He's working on getting the drip system put around each one of them. And then the west side urns, those are going to be pretty spectacular. I think they're spectacular even with nothing in them. So you just add that little fluff on the top and it's just icing. Oh, I just love it. And then the currant. Of course, that's going to be great going forward, watching that fill in and getting some fruit from it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.